The regulations are so out of control that in cities all across the U.S., you now have to think twice before giving a hungry person anything to eat. And you better make sure you have a permit from the city first. Before you get upset, remember the famous proverb, if you give to the poor, your needs will be supplied, but a curse upon those who close their eyes to poverty. And may I add this part, woe to those who close their eyes to the regulations of the federal government. In Philadelphia, Mayor Nutter banned, quote, feeding large numbers of homeless. Now think about how ridiculous that is. We should get Mother Teresa on the phone. Banned feeding large numbers of homeless. Doesn't that sound like something that you shouldn't get a ticket for or a jail sentence, but an award for? I shudder to think what would have happened if Mayor Nutter was around when Jesus fed the multitude. Guards, stop him. Seize that bread. In Orlando, members of the charitable group Food Not Bombs have been arrested for giving free food to the homeless. The city puts limits on permits. You only get 2. You get them from the city. You see, you have to have the permits to be able to hand out food. And so they were put in cuffs and taken away for giving food to hungry people. Boy, this sounds familiar, doesn't it? Not in America, but it sounds familiar. Houston. A couple spent an entire year feeding homeless people through their Feed a Friend program. Controversial, sure, Feed a Friend. What madness. They were shut down by the city because they had no permits. Las Vegas, limited distribution of charitable meals. Quote, hoping to discourage homeless people from congregating and ruining efforts to beautify downtowns and neighborhoods. Oh. This is part of phase 2, as I talked about last night. This is squeezing you. This is enforcing negative stereotypes. Don't feed the homeless. Don't feed the poor. Don't help out. That is enforce negative stereotypes. It is to encourage reckless habits. And it's remaining in the shadows. No congressman you can vote out. This isn't the president. This is just a regulation. If you don't know who Cass Sunstein is, you don't know who's doing it. They regulate in phase 1 and then squeeze in phase 2. People are starving in this rich nation, and it allows the left to organize those in poverty and shelters. You know why you don't have any food? It's all those rich people. They won't help you. They've stopped coming, haven't they? You used to have food here, but nobody will help you anymore. Well, we're here to help you. I'll tell you that right now. Federal government, we need your help, though. You need to go out and vote. The homeless. They're not thinking about the regulations of Cass Sunstein. They don't have time really living on the streets to figure out what's going on. They're easy to be organized. And it takes hunger for people to riot in the streets. For all of the efforts the left puts into attacking conservatives as hate mongers, look at what happens with an out-of-control, big progressive government. You can't even feed people. I hope the politicians in Vegas sleep well at night while they look out at their beautiful city. I'm not sure what their definition of beautiful is, but mine is probably a little bit different. Maybe a person showing love and compassion to a total stranger by sharing warm food and warm conversation and actually treating them like a human being rather than a blemish on society. That is beautiful, but you can keep your bright lights. In Dallas, a food ministry is suing over a new ban that restricts groups from giving meals to the homeless. New York City, Mayor Bloomberg banned all food donations to government-run homeless shelters on the fear the food isn't nutritious enough. I wonder what the guy at the shelter who hasn't eaten in 3 days says when some government worker says, ho, 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 let's not feed him that. I think I'd take a box of donuts if I were hungry, wouldn't you? What's healthy about being hungry? Nothing. Let me ask you this. Have the people, these elites, ever truly been poor or hungry? There was a good while in my life that I lived off a baked potato and a box of macaroni and cheese every day. I had one baked potato. Not every day did I have butter. I'd have salt on it. Sometimes if I had A1, I would put A1 on it, or horseradish because it would give it some sort of flavor. And the box of macaroni and cheese was my dinner, and I remember it was 23 cents. 23 cents a box. That's why I could afford it, because it was 23 cents a meal. A donut would have been a treat to me. You know, I have to tell you, when you are truly homeless and you are struggling, or you are hungry and you're struggling, and I don't mean the ones that are ungrateful for it, but I mean the ones who are struggling, who don't want to be there. Are you telling me that a donut isn't good for their soul from time to time? You don't think a treat, a pudding pack, would be welcome? We need to punish the homeless with all vegetables? Can we not give them some comfort food once in a while? And who are you to say that my food isn't good enough for people who are hungry? At what point does America stand up and say, I will not comply? It's not safe to say we've gone too far when we're denying people the ability to give a hungry person something to eat. We haven't gone too far yet, have we? I feel like I'm living in a parallel universe.